This is the continuation of She Walked into the Wrong Bathroom. Now the millionaire CEO won't let her leave. Welcome back, my beautiful family. I want to say thank you for your love, your attention, and support for the growth of our amazing Impert community. I pray may God Almighty should bless you and reward you all and your endeavors. Amen. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. Like and comment where you're watching from. Let's begin the amazing story of today. I believe we all are going to be blessed today after this wonderful story. The city never slept, but inside the cold industries penthouse, time had frozen. Dorothy stared out the window long after Evie's disappeared into his private study. Below, the city glimmered like a map of all the places she might have been, if she hadn't stepped through that one wrong door. She whispered to the reflection of herself, "Just one more night. Then I'm gone." But the universe doesn't honor bargains made in fear. She hadn't meant to snoop again. Truly. But while searching for a blanket in the guest room cabinet, her fingers brushed against a black folder stamped with the words. The name rang in her mind. Evie's had mentioned it once, offhandedly. Heart pounding, she opened it. Inside were financial reports, transaction logs, and an old company name she recognized immediately. Evans Mechanical. Her father's company. Dorothy's breath hitched. The documents listed its acquisition by Cold Industries, along with a note in red ink. Evans terminated. Operation contained. Her vision blurred. Terminated. She turned the page and froze. There, clipped to a report, was an old photo. Her father standing in a workshop, shaking hands with another man. And beside them, much younger but unmistakable, was Evie's cold. The same cold eyes. The same jaw. Smiling then. Dorothy's hands trembled. He'd lied. He hadn't just acquired the company. He'd known her father. Worked with him. And somehow, whatever had happened after had destroyed both of their lives. The door to the study was half open. Evie stood inside, talking quietly into his phone. Dorothy stepped in, folder clutched in her hands. Stop lying to me. He looked up sharply. Dorothy. You said you didn't know my father. He sighed, closing the laptop. You shouldn't have gone through my things. You shouldn't have destroyed my family. Her voice echoed off the glass. Outside, thunder cracked again, the storm returning as if on cue. He walked toward her slowly. You don't understand what happened. Then explain, she snapped. Because from where I'm standing, you ruined his company, drove him into debt, and then, her voice broke, then you made sure no one would ever hear his side. Evers's expression hardened, but not with anger, with pain. He wasn't innocent, Dorothy. You're lying. He sold prototypes from my research to a rival firm. I trusted him. He betrayed me. No, she shook her head, tears spilling now. My father was many things, but he wasn't a thief. Evie's closed the distance between them. He was desperate. You think I don't know what desperation does to people? He begged me to keep it quiet. I did. But the board found out. The investigation crushed him before I could stop it. Dorothy's body trembled. You destroyed him to save yourself. Evie's didn't deny it. Maybe, he said quietly. Maybe I did. The fracture. For the first time since she'd met him, Dorothy saw him truly human, haunted, uncertain. But she couldn't forgive him. Not yet. You think that justifies keeping me here, she whispered. No, he said. That's something else. What? Evie's hesitated. Then, because the people who came after your father are still watching. And now they think you know what he was hiding. Dorothy blinked. What are you talking about? He turned his laptop toward her. On the screen were surveillance images, men in suits, tailing her from the restaurant, outside her apartment. Her voice cracked. You're saying, I've been followed. Since before you came here. Why didn't you tell me? Because I needed to be sure you weren't one of them. The revelation. He handed her another document, a letter, unsigned, found among her father's belongings. If anything happens, find the key. Helios was never meant for them. Dorothy frowned. The key? Evie's nodded. Your father created a prototype, a microreactor, the first truly clean energy core. But it wasn't stable. The board wanted it weaponized. He refused. That's why they buried him. Her pulse thundered. And you're still working on it. He didn't look away. I perfected it. Dorothy's breath caught. Then, all this time, he said softly, I've been protecting what he died for. The twist tightens. The words swirled through her like a storm. It didn't make sense. None of it did. Yet the sincerity in his tone made it impossible to dismiss. She wanted to hate him. To scream. To run. But somewhere, in the quiet between the lightning strikes, she saw the truth. Evie's cold wasn't her father's enemy. He was the last living witness to what really happened. Why didn't you just tell me? She whispered. Because you wouldn't have believed me. Try me. Evie's gave a small, humorless smile. You're stubborn. Try me, she repeated. He walked to a locked cabinet behind his desk and removed a small metallic briefcase. When he opened it, soft blue light spilled out, a pulsing orb, smooth as glass, humming faintly. Dorothy's mouth fell open. That's the Helios core, he said. Your father's design. My execution. It's beautiful. It's dangerous, he corrected. And it's the reason you can't leave. The deal. Dorothy backed away. No. No, you can't keep me here because of this. Not because of this, he said, closing the case. Because of them. The board would kill anyone who knows this still exists. Then destroy it. His eyes flashed. You think I haven't tried? The moment I announce this technology, governments will crawl over each other to control it. If it falls into the wrong hands, it could start a war. And what do you plan to do? Lock me away forever? If that's what it takes to keep you alive. Her voice broke. That's not life, Evie's. That's a prison. For the first time, his composure cracked. You think I don't know that? You think I haven't lived it every day since she died? Dorothy froze. Mara. He nodded, jaw tight. She wanted me to share Helios. Said it would change the world. I said it would destroy it. We fought. She left. The next day, her car exploded. Dorothy's stomach dropped. You think the board? I know they did. The breaking point. The storm outside exploded into a full tempest, lightning splitting the sky. Dorothy stared at him. The man who had taken everything from her yet stood before her, scarred by the same system that broke her father. Then why not expose them? She demanded. Because I need proof, he said quietly. And you might be that proof. Me. He handed her a small flash drive. Your father sent this to himself before he died. I intercepted it. I never could open it. It's encrypted with a key phrase only he would know. Dorothy's fingers shook as she took it. And you think I can? You're his daughter, Evie said. If anyone can, it's you. The choice. She looked down at the drive, then up at him. And if I open it? Then we both learn the truth. Dorothy hesitated. And after that? After that, he hesitated. I'll let you go. Her voice trembled. You swear? He nodded once. On Mara's grave. It wasn't the promise she wanted, but it was the only one he could give. Dorothy slipped the drive into her pocket. Then I guess we find out what my father died for. The foreshadow. Evie's watched her cross the room, eyes shadowed with something heavy. Dorothy. She turned. If you open it, he said softly, there's no going back. She met his gaze. I stopped going back the moment I walked into that bathroom. The lights flickered as thunder roared, drowning out the city below. Neither of them noticed the tiny red light blinking beneath Evers's desk. the hidden transmitter sending every word to someone who had been listening all along. And miles away, in a high-rise office bathed in glass and shadow, a woman's voice whispered through the speakers. "She's found it. Tell Mr. Han, it's time." The night after the revelation hung heavy. Dorothy sat at the desk, the flash drive gleaming like a secret between them. Outside, thunder rolled across the skyline, washing the city in silver light. Decoding the past. They worked together in silence. Every click of the keyboard felt like pulling stitches from an old wound. Evie's decrypted layer after layer until the final lock appeared, a phrase prompt. Dorothy's hands hovered over the keys. Her father's handwriting flashed in her memory, the notes he used to leave for her and her sister on the fridge. She typed slowly, "For my girls." The screen blinked once, then filled with documents. Financial statements, board minutes, audio files, proof that Cold Industries Executive Council had sabotaged the Helios project, leaked false data, and arranged both her father's collapse and Mara Cold's death. Dorothy's throat tightened. They killed her to silence him. Evie stared at the evidence, pale. And I helped them cover it up. The betrayal. Before they could react, the penthouse alarms erupted, an ear-splitting shriek. Evie slammed the laptop shut. "They're here." The glass doors burst open. Security teams flooded in, led by Mr. Han, his longtime bodyguard. But Han's gun wasn't aimed at Dorothy. It was aimed at Evie's. "I warned you," Han said coldly. "The board wants Helios. Hand it over." Evie stood between Han and Dorothy. "You won't get it." Han sneered. "You think you can protect her? You couldn't even protect Mara." Dorothy's pulse raced. "We have proof, Han. The files."
Han låghed.
"You think anyone will believe you? Every network, every court belongs to us." Evie's reached for his desk, hit a key. The lights cut to emergency red. "Then the world will see it directly," he said. "I just sent everything to the press." Han fired. The bullet grazed Evers's shoulder. Dorothy screamed. In the chaos, she grabbed the case containing the Helios core and smashed it against the window. Alarms blared louder. Evie's grabbed her hand. "Run!" Escape through glass. They tore through corridors lit by flashing red. Evers's wound left a trail of crimson across the marble. Dorothy half-dragged him into a service elevator. The doors slid shut just as gunfire cracked the glass above them. Breathing hard, she pressed her sleeve to his wound. "Stay with me." He managed a weak smile. "Still giving orders." "You're terrible at following them." The elevator lurched to a stop on the parking level. They staggered out into the storm, into a world already howling with sirens. Outside, sleek black cars surrounded them. Grace Cold stepped out from one, rain slicking her dark hair to her face, alive, not dead as Evie's had believed. "Hello, brother." Evie's froze. "Grace." She smiled sadly. "You never understood. The board didn't kill Mara. I did. She wanted to give Helios away. That would have ended us all." Dorothy whispered, "You killed your own sister-in-law." "For the greater good," Grace said. "And now I'll finish what you couldn't." She raised a gun toward Dorothy. Evie stepped in front of her. "You'll have to shoot me first." "I plan to." The shot cracked through the rain, then another echoed back from behind Grace. She staggered, looked down at the wound blooming crimson, and fell. Behind her, Han lowered his weapon, eyes full of remorse. "Orders changed," he muttered. "She went too far." He turned to Evie's. "Go. I'll delay them." Evie's nodded once, gripping Dorothy's hand, and they disappeared into the storm. They hid in a warehouse by the docks until dawn. The city headlines had already changed. Cold Industries implicated iron cover-up. Every file had gone public. Dorothy scrolled through the newsfeed, tears mixing with relief. "You did it." "No," Evie said softly. "We did." He leaned back against the wall, exhausted, blood seeping through his shirt. "You need a doctor," she said. He shook his head. You need to live. Don't talk like that. Dorothy, his voice broke. All my life I built cages, for secrets, for people, for myself. You walked into one and turned it into a door. She took his hand. Then walk through it. He smiled faintly. Promise me one thing. What? Don't let them rebuild what we destroyed. She nodded, tears streaming. I promise. Evers's hand relaxed in hers. His eyes closed, not dead, but surrendering, finally, to rest. 1 year later. Spring sunlight poured through the cafe windows. A sign over the counter read Helios Roastery, powered by hope. Dorothy poured coffee for a customer and glanced at the small news screen above the bar. Evie's cold found not guilty, retires from public life. He had survived, recovered, disappeared somewhere beyond headlines. But every month a silent investor's donation covered her sister's medical bills. A courier arrived, handing her a sealed envelope. Inside was a single photograph, Evie standing on a distant shore, wind in his hair, smiling for the first time, and a note. Sometimes freedom looks like loss. Sometimes love means letting go.
Oi.
Dorothy folded the letter, looked toward the window, and whispered, Goodbye, Evie's cold. Outside, the city glittered in morning light. A year ago she'd walked into the wrong bathroom. Today, she walked out into the right life. Some doors close with a lock, others with forgiveness. And sometimes, walking into the wrong room is how you finally find your way home. Dorothy discovering. Dorothy uncovers the truth behind her father's death and the Helios Project. Evie's confronts his past, exposes the corruption, and earns redemption. Both gain freedom, not through escape, but through truth and forgiveness. Please, if you found the story helpful, please don't forget to subscribe, like and comment where you are watching from. Thanks.